Damnable Lies by Alan Olenichak. Read by Colin Hussey. The greatest insult to an Englishman is to be called a coward, and despite what was printed in the papers, I'm not. I simply did what I was told. But you know, mud once thrown will stick. And now it seems I'm forever damned to tell the story again to clear my name. But I will, however, spare you most details, as they are still too painful to recall, and you are, no doubt, beyond the morbid fascination of it all. Despite what was written, everything proceeded in an orderly fashion, quite calm given the circumstances. The deck was nearly empty, and my wife turned down places in 2 departing boats. Lucy refused to leave my side and could not be convinced otherwise. This was most upsetting, as I feared for her safety. I eventually found a smaller lifeboat, and the first officer told us that we must board along with 2 American businessmen. There were 2 other men, mind you. The sailor in charge was then ordered to pull off as quickly as possible as to avoid being sucked under. Ours was the last to be launched, and although the boat was supposed to hold 40, there were 7 crew and 5 passengers aboard. Only 12 of us. Again, I had no say in the matter. It was suggested later that we should row back to help others, but was told it would be dangerous and futile since no one could have survived the icy water. I protested, of course, but was told I was in no position to give orders. I was, after all, not in charge. Indeed, it was only a short time later that everything had gone silent. It's slanderous to call it a bribe. At that moment, I would have given anything I possessed to anybody who wanted it, as my heart was so full of thanksgiving for being saved. I thought I was being generous. The crew had not only lost their kits, but also their jobs, and it was only right that they should be compensated in some way. A restitution. Later, I gave each of these men a £5 note, and this small kindness was misinterpreted as a bribe for not returning for more survivors. Another outrageous rumor was that I had cheated my way onto a lifeboat dressed as a woman. Another damnable lie. There seems to be a strange resentment against anyone who survived, and my feeling of relief and thankfulness was quite spoilt by the venomous attacks made of me in the papers. Duff Gordon scandal. Baronet and wife row away from the drowning. Cruelly, my wife was also shunned, and even after being cleared at the inquiry, I was still a pariah and the subject of endless ridicule. We were eventually forced to retire from public life. My reputation destroyed. What more is to be said when so much poisoned ink has already been spilt? I tell you, I did not deserve this injustice after such a horrific experience. Would it have been better that I went down with the ship? I am still an honourable gentleman. I simply did what I was told. This monologue was inspired by a box of letters found at a London's law office of Veal, Wasborough, Vizards in 2012, 100 years after the sinking of the Titanic. These detailed letters by Sir Cosmo Duff Gordon and his wife Lucille document the night of the ship's sinking and their eventual rescue. Duff Gordon was publicly vilified and refused to speak about the incident to reporters. These letters are seen by many as a vindication of his character.